The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by the hosts are for entertainment purposes only and do not necessarily reflect those of RJV Media Lab, Inc., its affiliates, or sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Them boys, they cutting up.
I say, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
And children of all ages, welcome to a illustrious episode of Kuttin Up with your main man D in the place to be. And to my left,
Got Elroy Jason ready to blast off.
and to my right,
Really? Did you just do that?
yeah, I did. I did do that. You see that?
I like the way you slid that in, but it was very unexpected.
Yeah.
As usual.
Hey, that's just my usual thing. Unexpectancy is the consistency is what you do.
Yeah. I would say so. I would say so.
Expect a lot of consistent unexpectancy.
Yeah.
That's a perfect description if you really know me.
And we got our main man, CC
Murder.
Murder.
What's up, people? How y'all
Hey,
doing,
man, I just checked out your...
Oh, yeah. We had some of them.
Yeah. I told every time I come in, it's just like,
You see, it's old.
he got a vault because he got the vault right here, dog.
Yeah,
He's holding out on the
Y'all come check us out, RJV Brands, man.
Man, check out that merch, man. Big.
What's up with y'all, man? How y'all doing?
There. Man, everything good, man. How yourself?
Blessed and highly favored.
Man, yes, sir. Ain't nothing but the real. But everything good with me, man.
Yeah, man.
Just chilling, man.
We got a lot to recap.
Yeah, it's a
man.
lot to unpack, people.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So buckle up your seatbelts for this one, baby.
So
It's gonna be a good one.
let's start into round
So
one,
you know
man.
what we gotta go with.
Yeah.
You gotta start.
Well, let's
that
we're gonna talk about the draft, but we're not gonna talk about the obvious first. Let's just talk about other things before we get into the meat of the agenda. Let's talk about who do you feel had the best draft?
And I expected them from you like that. You see that word?
Mm-hmm.
I expected that.
You had your answer. You was ready.
Let's do it.
Cheers. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Had a couple things I did look at. One thing I'm gonna go to, I do say I like what Carolina did for Bryce. They went with McMillan, first round, 8th pick, I like that. They went Etienne from Georgia, 4th round, 114 pick, like that. Also, tight end kid from forgot where it's from, tight end, 163rd pick. Also, they went and got Jimmy Horn, kid from Colorado, receiver. So I did like them. And they kind of jump around. I kind of like what Cleveland did. You know what I mean?
Overall.
In an overall. You know what I mean? So because I did like Mason.
But who do you think had the best though, D? Just give me one.
I might have to go with Carolina. Because I just like what they did. I like the way they did finally get some weapons around them. Now, you can't complain about that part.
I like
the wide receiver haul that Tampa Bay got. Because they got Mbuka from Ohio State. They end up getting Ted Johnson from Oregon. And they end up signing the Shepard, the kid from Colorado, number 14. They end up signing him. So I think that was a big call. And they signed Shedeur Sanders as a free agent as well.
I think Jacksonville had the best. I like what they did. They went and got everything that they needed, and I like the way they moved up to get Mr. Hunter.
Yeah, that was an unexpected.
I mean, they were number 5. They moved up.
Because he wasn't going to be there for her.
Yeah, they moved up to 2, and I just feel that by them moving up, they already have, I guess, quarterbacks that are decent enough to run whatever system the new coach is trying to run, but they say he's offensive minded, and they assured that he's going to play both sides. He's going to play both sides, and he's going to implement him offensively. So, hey.
Yeah, they did say that.
I like what they did. But, to be honest, going on what you said, I want to say Jacksonville, but I do want to agree with you on Carolina as well. They really did boost up offensively. You know what I'm saying? They got offensive line.
Yeah,
and
the
running back,
offensive line
wide
was pretty
receiver.
decent, but they needed to get some weapons around the quarterback.
And they did.
Like
They got a tight end and they
got a
got
tight
some
end,
good
two
wide
receivers, and you
Yeah.
got him a running back that's showed to be able to catch the ball as well,
Right.
three down back.
Right.
So love that. So
Defense was decent.
yeah, it
not
was
bad.
middle of the road. You got to think about your conference, and not your conference, but your division. So it ain't a lot over there anyway.
What
You know what I'm saying?
what you think about your coach?
We addressed the little issue. I didn't like that we decided to draft a quarterback after we could have drafted my man, and it was something that I didn't really understand.
Oh,
So,
you
and
talking
then-
about you saying y'all could have got Shedeur.
Yeah,
So y'all got a quarterback.
well,
in
we
this
drafted
year?
the quarterback in like this. I think the 6th round or something like that. So I ain't like that. I like the tight end pick. Love that because we've been shuffling through tight ends for the last since Dallas Claw.
But I don't
So
think
it's a
y'all
new
were actually
44.
looking for a quarterback to be the future. Y'all were looking for a good backup, in my opinion. That's why you got one so late. Because Shedeur went in the 5th, right?
Yeah, I think they may be looking sooner than later because I don't know how long the Anthony Richardson project is gonna last because it's actually not getting off to a good foot right now from the injuries and tap out and. So I just don't think it's been real progressive in what I'm doing. But hey, it could jump off this year. You never know. You know what I mean? So they did pick up a running back later on as well. So. It's well tell to see, 'cause I think he definitely got weapons now because the receiver room was already packed, so we're good on that. Got a couple holes in defense to fill, but I think we did definitely cover some needs, though. How you think about them Eagles? What you think?
I was skeptical with that first pick, but overall, I think we addressed everything that we needed to. And
Gotta trust Howie, though.
always,
I can't hate on
always,
that. I can't hate on
always. But the only thing that scared me, to be honest, was Jaheed Campbell being injured and needing to have surgery.
Yeah, he sounds like a
But
future talent more than.
But in all fairness, like this surgery that he had to have, he still might be ready for the season. Because it's his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? He already had one. They say he's finna have the other. And from my
I don't know about the knee,
understanding,
so
but
knee
the knee might not need surgery. It might,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Because they didn't say nothing about it needing surgery. They just said he had knee problems. You know what I'm saying? So, we went and got the safety from Texas.
Yeah, I saw that.
We got like 2 corners, one from UCF, and I forgot where the other one come from. But we got a couple of D tackles. We got another linebacker to go along with Campbell, and we got a couple of pass rushers.
Yeah.
So overall, though, I think we addressed everything we needed to, which was defense. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't think you have no offensive holes that you possibly compete?
Nah,
In the draft?
because we already got we got that in free agency. Like the offensive lineman that we lost, we went and got one. You know what I'm saying? So we good, really.
Disappointments, which this team is just glues disappointment. Oh, the Cowboys again.
Okay, well, I knew you were gonna say that. So
Why not?
in a grade A to F, what would you get them?
A L. You don't draft a receiver in the draft, period.
I wouldn't say F.
Who catching the ball?
I say D plus.
Who catching the ball?
I mean, they might go and get somebody in free agency. They might have faith in what they already have.
And
I can't answer that.
I understand,
But they did get offensive linemen to protect.
Yeah,
that.
they got 3 Tylers. They love Tylers in the first round.
You know what
Their
I'm saying?
last 3 draft picks in the first round were linemen. And
Didn't they get a running back too?
Yeah, they got
So I mean,
Blue. Was it
and they
Jalen Blue from
they got another linebacker to go on the other side of to replace Lawrence.
Right.
So,
They did a couple knees, but they need a
Yeah.
receiver though. This just me.
I feel what you're saying,
and I think this receiver draft was deep. That's how Tampa Bay was able to get a couple of them. You know what I mean? So I like a couple people. I look like what the Chargers did too. I think what the Raiders did.
I I think they're satisfied with what they did, because I think they're satisfied with what they have in the wide receiver room. I think.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that.
That's just what it is.
I
think they tied in. I think is it Ferguson?
Yeah.
I think they think he's straight.
I give him decent. He was on my fantasy. So,
you already know they got the fast guy that was in the UFL.
Yeah,
he's in the slot.
Return guy.
They play him in the slot, and they had
trying
another
to turn a return guy to a receiver. Though?
But that's what he did, and he played pretty good. I mean, for his first year.
Yeah,
for his first year, and then he didn't have his quarterback in there. So I mean, I'm just saying,
it's upside. You know, it's upside.
It's upside.
I got you.
It's upside.
I ain't gonna.
They ain't trying to compete for no championship.
Yeah, we know
year.
that.
They just not trying to be in the.
They just want to play games
and want to be competitive. They want to win by 10 games. You know what I'm saying? 8 to 10.
8 to 10 games.
That's
maybe
a start.
Playoffs. Maybe
that's a start. That's a bill. You know what I'm saying?
That's just national standard. We just gonna we're not going to play with the Cowboys. What's standard?
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything else. Yeah. We're just going to leave it at that. But get to the elephant in the room. Now, my problem is this.
You got any hits for us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way. Because once we get into that, we're going to be in it for
What draft day trade you think was the most impactful?
I'll only go
trade. I got to say Eli when
you talking about in ever.
I'm just talking about today. For this past
way. Oh, it's gonna have to be the one with Travis Hunter.
Jacksonville moving up.
Yeah, moving up to get Travis Hunter.
That was the most
the scope
impactful.
Yeah,
because I know we moved down a couple of times, but it was
the first time y'all only moved down one spot. From third up, up one spot.
Yeah,
right,
and the other one we moved down.
Right, but it was only a couple.
But that's only because we knew that the player was going to be there.
Still there, you know what I'm saying? So that would be the biggest one because it changed the scope of the top of the draft.
Got to be.
You know what I mean? Because at first it was still a thought that it could go up Carter, then him.
Yeah.
But then when that trade came, everybody knew, boom, they were trying to solidify their run. Because him and the other guy they got last year, he was big in fantasy. I can't think his name, the receiver. God. But yeah, but that's a duo. They got I'm talking about like chasing. When chasing the boy was at the LSU, it's got that type of duo. When you put him, if you put him next to Travis Hunter, yeah, they got a duo now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay.
So that'll be it. But to just say what I'm gonna say to it, and I ain't gonna go too deep into it.
Yes, you are.
I'm not. I'm gonna glaze over it. I've had enough time to. If this was probably the day of or the day before after, yeah, I probably would have destroyed.
I want to hear it though. Let go.
But
I want to hear it.
My thing is this:
fresh from the hip.
It's always a problem when the black dad tries to kind of help bring his son through. With the LeBron, with Bronny. And you'll see it later with Bryce. LeVar Ball and his kids. Who else we've had? We had a couple more.
It ain't that many.
We have a couple more because now we're starting to have a lot more kids that's coming up, and big prayers to Elijah. Isn't it Elijah is his name? Gilbert Arenas' son. Yeah, big prayers to him. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the kids that I was definitely looking forward to seeing playing and just speaking in that type of, speaking in that type of thing. But when Eli Daddy said it, we're no problem. When Johnny Manziel was getting drunk, snarling, getting kicked out of school, getting suspended, it's no problem. When Joe Burrow was Joe Blow, Big Boy Shades, wearing the chains, no problem. But when you got a kid that's just saying, all right, if you're not trying to change your franchise, don't pick me. That's just saying you want confidence. If you want in a quarterback, I feel like that's the number one thing you want in him is confidence. That if everything still feel like it's to the bottom, you got he the one still can see it. So that's my only thing is why I do that to the kid. for the sake of the dad. Cause they did this purely because of the dad. Cause like the kid ain't done nothing. He never been in trouble. No off the field. Might talk a little junk, but who don't? You know what I mean? So he never got into none of that other stuff. So my biggest thing is what was the thing was trying to break that down. And that was purely only because of that. And ain't nothing he could do. And the only thing between Difflin and Brandon was because he actually showed it on the field. And then like the Saints, why you go pick I'm like, you go pick a dude that's 26, going to be 26 old, I think in September. He played for 3 colleges. We both know by the time he even good enough to even breathe, you even put him in, even up to that par, he'll be 30 years old. You do it 23.
I've saw a lot of reports. ESPN was talking about it, online, but they were basically saying it wasn't towards Shedeur. Towards
Deion.
But the thing about it is we've seen a lot of arrogant players come into sports.
Yeah.
And
Joe, what's it, Joe name? His first coach.
It's just obvious that at the end of the day, it's a double standard. And it was more or less, that was a power move by the NFL to show Deion and Shedeur and Shiloh.
Yeah, because Shiloh didn't get picked. I knew that when they didn't invite him to the combine, I knew they wasn't going to draft him. And then you saw what I sent y'all right before we got here about the reports about what the owners said. All right, I sent y'all something right before we got here. It is a report going around, of course, allegedly, that it was some owners that sent reports out to and told owners to take him off the board because of what I'm saying. Well, basically what I'm saying is like, just tell him that he ain't that guy. We're going to take him down and all that stuff like that. Because if you look at it, yes, the contract is different. Oh, he might get like 2.3, and that's total from where he was drafted.
Because they know he got money.
Right,
already.
from where the average of the top 5 is like $10.4 million a year.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Think about what I'm saying. A top 5 pick is averaging 10.5 a year, reference to getting a contract total at probably 2.
Yeah.
And he still got to make the team.
You feel what I'm saying? And you got to think, they still drafted Dylan Gabriel before him.
Yeah, they stacked on.
So you think about it. I think they got a 4 quarterback room. I don't know if Buddy's still there from last year.
No, they got more than 4 in there.
Okay, you got Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun ain't playing this year, but they got Joe Flacco.
Okay, Joe Flacco, Shedeur, Dylan Gabriel.
And then there's one more
the kid from last year that came from UCLA. With the 2 last names, I can't think of his name. I can't think of his name.
Yeah. So they got
4 kids.
Yeah.
So if I'm standing there with my eyes closed, who I think gonna play, okay, you know who I'm gonna say,
Joe.
You know what I'm saying? So
he gonna start it out.
There's some fans that's
end up being the man.
But bro,
there's some fans that saying that they want Dylan Gabriel to start.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what it's gonna be.
They think that's gonna be the lineup.
Right. So you gotta think about it, bro. You still got 2 quarterbacks that was Heisman candidates at some point. Because I can't take them because, take them with Dylan Gabriel. He'll lefty. I don't really like left-hand quarterbacks, but he can still get that ball out of there. And at Oregon, what they did, throw the ball. So I can't take nothing away. It's gonna become it
ain't over with.
So it definitely ain't over with, you know what I mean? So am I going to look for him to start? We'll see.
Well, the film don't lie, so it's just all about what he's going to do once OTAs and rookie camps start, you know what I'm saying? Because technically, I just think it's a 3-man race. The guy that he came in with and Joe Flacco. That's it.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think Joe Flacco going to have a number 1 lead because he's a veteran.
Watson ain't going to play.
He's been there before, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see on that one, but it's going to be definitely, and I ain't going to lie, I'm ready. I just thought about it. I saw a video I was scrolling earlier. I got to see what Madden look like with the updates. I got to see what Madden look like with the updates, my boy.
Yeah, but going back to that, it's just sad that the president had to make a statement.
That's sad that the fact that he did, the period.
No, what's sad about it is like when they finally called his name, talking about Shedeur's, everybody stood up and was like cheering, like, okay, about time. Like, You know what I'm saying? Like everybody knew that was like railroaded.
Yeah, bro. And the thing about it, man, and this is the only thing about it, and I don't rarely, side with my boy, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna go with Stephen A. on something he said on this one. After this draft, it definitely will let you know that this is not, the NFL is not based on talent evaluation. So let's just take that.
Because if
let's
you
just
look
take
at
that
it,
out of it, okay?
the thing that I'm mad at,
we know the best man.
Politics.
It's pure politics.
It's pure politics.
It's not talent
But
evaluation.
the thing that's so mind-boggling about,
and that's why a lot of quarterbacks
ordeal.
don't work out in the combine, because what would it, even if he worked out, what would have changed? It wouldn't have changed nothing. It wouldn't have changed nothing.
My thing is, at the end of the day, you have so many teams that don't need a quarterback, but you have a lot of teams that do. And they skipped over this man or picked somebody that we hadn't heard of and we all know isn't better than him.
Exactly.
Like,
Or
keep
even
it in
close
mind,
to him,
man.
bro.
This guy was up for the Heisman at one point in time.
Think about
This was college football that put him up. It wasn't Dion. You know what I'm saying?
C Murder. And Cam Ward, the one who won first man, statistically wise, remember this, Shedeur threw more attempts and completed more attempts and had a higher completion percentage than he did.
When Cam Heisman?
No, Shedeur had the highest completion percentage in the country.
But wasn't...
He was the number one. We went up. You know what I'm saying?
Cam didn't win?
No, Travis Hunter won the Travis Hunter won the Heisman. You know what I mean?
You're right.
So we all knew that was kind of a foresaying conclusion with how he was playing both sides.
Yeah.
So we knew he was going to get it. But we was looking at the quarterbacks, because my thing is a year ago, we had Shedeur as a top 5 pick, pure. Most people did. He had a better season this season than he had last season. Cam Ward had a great season with Washington State. Reason why I know, because I was watching him, because I was hoping Auburn was going to get him in the portal. He chose Miami. Because at first he was going into the draft. Because last year he was supposed to go into the draft last year, then he pulled his name out, ended up getting him going to Miami because they dropped him the bag. So, ended up having a great season, but I don't see anything that Cam Ward did during his final season that was so superlative that pushed Shedeur down when he had such a good season as well, being that I feel like Shedeur had less of a defensive presence on his team and also definitely didn't have the offensive line that he had in Miami. You know what I mean? He had great NFL-type coaches with his dad, Warren Sapp on the defenses, and other offensive, minded coaches like, NFL experienced coaches and things like that. But we'll say the greater player was definitely a greater grade in Miami in most positions. It was him and Travis Hunter and the Pips. You know what I mean? So, but we pushed him up so fast out of the blue. Why? You know what I mean? And I don't feel like, and there's nothing to take away from Cam Ward, and I say he's going to have a great career, but I just don't think he did enough within his season for me to think less of him and less from going from a top 5 pick to a 5th rounder.
Yeah. I mean, it's politics at the end of the day.
You know what I mean? And a kid that plays 6 seasons in the college football in 3 colleges. And I guarantee you some of them changes weren't voluntarily.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. It's weird, man.
It's just more or less you're gonna see it more. It's gonna be more blatant due to the fact of the money being thrown around when it comes to college football.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, hey, this child getting all this money here, I won't blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, universities are gonna push kids even more now for Heismans and fame and all that. You know what I mean?
Here's another thing I wanted to bring up. Another note, just to kind of slide away from this Shedeur tough subject. Did you see how much the transfer portal and NIL changed the draft fees? Remember, and it's not in a shun at nothing. Bama used to have how many go in the first round? 5 to 8 sometimes? Yeah. and it's not a knock at Bama. It's just the lay of how everything has spread it out, and you aren't able to have a lot of those great 5 stars, because you have 5 stars. It's just not as great as other 5 stars, because it's different levels of 5-star players, whether you believe it or not. But you don't able to be able to back those players up when you got that many of them going at one time. That means that many came at once. You know what I mean? Because everybody got to play 3 years. So that means you lost that many. That means that many came at one time. So I think this year the team that went hard was Ohio State. I think they had the most in the first day maybe. And they had maybe 8. I know they had Ibuka, 2 running backs.
No, they ain't had the most the first day. Miami, ain't nobody broke that Miami record.
I'm talking about this in this draft. I ain't talking about the most ever.
They got
you know what I'm saying? I think they had the most.
They set the record
right
this year.
That was I think they had the most that I saw go through this year in far as the first 2 days. You know what I mean? Something like that. So, and that's just because a lot of their players were 3 to 4 year starters. They had been there for a while. They weren't all young players and stuff like that.
Do we have an Alabama alliance? The jacket.
Oh, no,
jacket.
it was supposed to happen, and it still might. Yeah, it's a possibility.
Yeah, I'm just stuck on the jacket. But staying on college football.
Okay.
Did you hear that the word then came out that the LSU football player that killed himself? He did not kill that man in the car accident. Somebody else did, and the police was trying to put it on him.
Huh? Okay. Time out.
Yeah.
It's locked and packed. So, this guy was supposed to be hit this person in an accident, like in a charge and stuff like that, right?
Hit and run, yeah.
Kind of like Ruggs thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't no videotape and stuff like that.
And then came out, they said that it was another car that did it. It was another car that did it, but they were trying to put it on.
That's tough.
My old lady showed me like right before I left, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn.
Yeah, I'm about to go look that up. I didn't know that.
I was like, damn, man.
That's messed up, bro.
That's messed up, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, but the thing about it is they putting it on him, and, he might have been paranoid about the situation, not wanting to go to jail. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Yeah, man, because that man supposed to been in this draft. We supposed to been talking about what pick he went.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Big, you know what I'm saying, prayers for the family and stuff like that. But, man, that's crazy. But, bro.
You got another hitter for us?
Nah, man, we got to get to the
other.
Yeah.
To the other side.
Yeah, man.
It's about that time then, D.
Yeah.
I told you we were going to blast through it.
Let's get through. Y'all got something on NBA? What's up with the finals?
Yeah.
Hit me with that real quick.
Man. Yeah. Oh, yeah, quick. Y'all want to go with something with you about this, man. NBA. We were talking about the Lakers.
Yeah.
You know what the problem was? LeBron didn't take but 9 shots. That don't make sense, first of all.
It's the Luka show. They running everything through Luka. Then they running it through Austin Reeves. LeBron is the last. And they did it in game 1. Game 1, I think he only had like 9 points and only 9 touches in the first half. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Bro, he shot 9 shots, bro. Now, you look at his line, you like, oh, man, he had a great game. Played 46 minutes. He made more minutes than everybody. Of course, we know that. 27 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 blocks.
He ain't do nothing in the second half.
He was 15 or 18 from the free throw line. So that means 15 of them 27 was at the free throw line. So, of course, he didn't give you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
I was interested.
You know what I mean? So he didn't give you. He didn't. That's why they was like, well, y'all couldn't have played as much. Yes, they could have, because he needed to give you some more. Then you had Jackson Hayes. He only played 4 minutes, 2 points.
But see, once
Vincent,
again,
12 minutes, 0 points.
Going back to LeBron, that go back to what I was telling you when we talked about it earlier. That has something to do with coaching. You don't play Jackson Hayes but 4 minutes. You got to have faith in this guy and play him more than 4 minutes because now you're asking LeBron to play power forward and center. Now he'll give you the 3 to the 1 with no problems. But once you go to adding him playing the whole fourth quarter, playing
second half yesterday though.
Pretty much, the whole second half playing the 4 and the 5. He's gonna be tired. You know what I'm saying? Now that's why I say he made plays defensively. Stole the ball a couple of times.
I didn't like that replay at the end where they gave him a foul on that right there. I don't like how they can add a foul. And I don't like that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Because they didn't call foul.
It wasn't a reason the foul was put. It was just trying to see where the ball went out. I know the ball that went out on Edwards.
No, they were trying to see if he had stole it. See, they had
they're trying to see if the ball went off on Edwards.
Yeah.
Hit it. So and they gave them giving them a foul. So I don't like that part. But the biggest problem is, bro, you turn into a complete jump shooting team.
Yeah.
You shot 25 free throws.
Because of Luka.
And guess what? Only 2 people took free throws out of your whole team.
Luka and LeBron. But then nobody
else even took a freaking free throw.
I remember at
LeBron,
one point
15
in the game.
18, Luka was 7 for 7.
I remember at one point in the game.
Nobody else even took a free throw. But only other thing I'm going to say about the NBA, I didn't like the late call against the Knicks last night. There definitely was a foul in the corner on the last shot. Should have been a foul call on that. That would have definitely ended the way on that one. So definitely think they trying to bait the Knicks into the playoffs. Don't know why. Because you're going to end up seeing the Celtics who's up 3-1, and we'll close that out, and we're not even going to worry about that. We won't have to go into those Celtics, but you know what we're going to do. But, yeah, anything else you have with the NBA, brother? All right.
Yeah, all right. Well, we will see.
Well, like I said, we'll see at the end on that, and the rest of the series to me are kind of cool.
Well, we in the playoffs?
Yeah, all in the playoffs. So you get in the first round. So you got Celtics up 3-1, Minnesota's up 3-1, Indiana's up 3-1, Cleveland's up 3-0.
Okay.
Celtics up 3-1. I don't know if I said that.
Yeah.
And who else?
Talked about the Lakers.
Yeah, they down 3-1. And the Knicks. I said the Knicks. Pacers, Bucks. Yeah.
Okay.
And Golden State's up 3-1. 2-1. I'm sorry, 2-1.
Yeah.
They play tonight. You got Cleveland playing right now who up 3-1. They're probably finna go ahead and sweep the Heat. They up 12-3. And we got Houston and Golden State with a 2-1 lead. They start at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, get them on out of here, man.
You know, so we'll get that on out the way and get to some better matchups. Also, we still, what about we got the Clippers and Nuggets tied 2-2. What you think on that?
Nuggets.
I'm still rolling with them Clippers. Kawhi balling. Can't front Kawhi balling. So I'm going to have to kick around with them Clippers on there. But I think, yeah, that's it right there.
Okay. Any movies y'all interested in seeing?
I still ain't seen Sinners. Everybody else say it's fire.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bunch of movies about to start coming up. Yeah, the Thunderbolts coming out this week.
Yeah, they've been heavily advertised.
What is Thunderbolts?
It's a Marvel movie.
Thunderbolts.
Is it part of the?
Yeah, it's part of the MCU, but they're basically pretty much everybody in there has had the superhero serum except for one person.
Okay.
So it's like everybody has like some sort of strength or
agility. It's like The Boys.
Yeah, pretty much. But
they just repackaging it.
Lower tier superheroes.
Yeah. Okay. I like the Misfit game.
Just another way to implement.
Squad.
Man, why they wouldn't do Thundercats though?
It might be in the.
That'll be fire, bro.
In the making. I don't know how would they make it.
Yeah,
how would they make that live action?
Just like that, they made the Smurfs live action. They made
it's not live action.
In the movie.
Really live action.
Yeah, it's all AI. So it's kind of hard to do that.
CGI
and all that.
With live action.
You know what I'm saying? Like
hard.
if you did Thundercats, you could still do that like a Marvel type of thing, though, right? Still the same kind of essence?
No, they're not Marvel.
No, I'm just saying, I'm not saying in a Marvel-esque, I'm saying a Marvel-esque type of, where you have real people playing it, not an actual Pixar, You see what
I
I'm
know they
saying?
can do the makeup.
So
and all
that's
that
what I'm
kind of
saying. Would you
stuff.
rather see that movie in like a cartoon-esque or with people playing? That's what I'm saying. I would rather see that is right with real people playing
I mean, I'd be cool.
than like
with
a Dragon Ball
CGI.
Z part.
I'd be cool with CGI too, especially
For real?
especially if it's on that level of like
Kids thing.
Spider-Man.
no, I was gonna say
Ninja Turtles?
Avatar.
Okay, I can get behind that for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying?
For
Because
sure.
it's like when
For
it
sure.
comes to Avatar or the way they did Ninja Turtles, they put that suit on where it's got the balls all over their body.
Yeah.
And the balls is like on the computer is gonna generate them as whatever character that they, you know what I mean?
Oh,
So
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So that's what
Okay, I see
exactly
what you're saying.
because that's
I see
how they
what you're
do
saying.
like a superhero that has a cape.
Yeah.
They just put the top part of the cape and the
With
rest
green
is
screen.
CGI and it's, you know with the flow and all that. So
Okay, I see what
they
you're saying.
can do
I
it.
see what you're
It can
saying.
be done. I mean, if you just think about Thundercats was pretty much on a planet kind of like what Jurassic Park or Jurassic
Right.
World look like.
Exactly.
A whole bunch of different lush trees, different, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, if you can do what's the shit? Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can
What
have
was,
CGI like that.
What was Thundercats? Was it like a Hanna-Barbera?
I think
Yeah,
so.
it was Hanna-Barbera.
I think
Because
so.
it came on.
I
where it
think,
was-
I'm not for
yeah,
sure.
it was because it was it was tied in with the same thing, kind of like with He-Man.
I think they've been trying
know
to
what I'm
work
saying?
on the Hanna-Barbera.
Hasbro.
Yeah. Hasbro. It's a Hanna-Barbera, same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hasbro?
Yeah, Hasbro was the
Bro.
toys. Hasbro who did the toys.
I
They
know what you're saying.
license. They
Yeah,
they not attached to one another.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Just
just license the
affiliated
toy.
toy-wise.
Yeah.
Because what you call it is Hasbro.
Hold up.
Transformers.
Hanna-Barbera Cartoons was an
Transformers.
American production company,
Transform.
Transformers. Okay.
but it's been sucked into Warner Brothers now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Warner
Warner
Brothers got
Because
Hanna-Barbera.
Ted Turner bought all of Hanna-Barbera
Well, he owns
content, and then
TNT.
TNT. He had
Yeah.
TNT, CNN,
Cartoon Network is
Cartoon
part of
Network.
TNT.
All of
He
that.
owned
Yeah,
a
TBS.
lot.
All this.
TBS. That's
The
what it
Atlanta
is.
Braves.
Yeah.
All that. You
Turner
know what I'm
Classic
saying?
Movies.
Yeah. Bro, that's why I tell people that
One of the greatest billionaires.
and think about this. And why you think he's one of the greatest billionaires? He was the one who kind of orchestrated the fact that y'all watch Jordan all the time. He was the one that put the TV channels. Think about it. That's who orchestrated all those channels to make sure they were on your base cable package.
Yeah.
If you got one, you got them all.
Yeah.
But hottest movie of the summer, it's actually gonna be between Superman and Fantastic Four.
Okay.
As
I can see
good as Sinners is.
I can see it.
So
One
it's
of the-
like that, bro.
Yeah, because you got to
I ain't
keep
went
in
saw no
mind.
movie though.
You got to
I
keep
ain't
in
no
mind,
movie,
Sinners
though.
is a movie where you're gonna have a lot of people of color going to see.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But when you talking about a big budget Marvel movie, which is Disney, you're gonna have kids of all ages, grown ups of all ages,
Oh yeah, no doubt.
all nationalities, all over the world. So it's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have somebody that say, okay, I want to go see Sinners because they know this, you know, the plot of it based around vampires.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So they might be a gothic type person that like vampire movies. You know what I'm saying? So they might go see it anyway.
Yeah.
But it's only a few, it's making good money for that type of movie. You feel me?
I believe it's a good movie though. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because
Making that
I
type.
outside the one clip I think I saw maybe 2 clips. That's what made me was like, all right, what is this? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's when I realized what it was because I didn't even know it was a movie that was about to come out. I thought it was something that was going to be on like Tubi or something. You know what I'm saying? Until I saw what it was, actually was. So I'm not finna go to the movies. So I'm gonna wait for about another week and fire up the old trusty fire stick.
Well,
I fire tonight though. You went to the movie?
I haven't gone yet, but I plan on going this weekend because
You gonna go this weekend?
I'm gonna go see Thunderbolts. Because
Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
tomorrow.
my thing is it come out Thursday,
Okay.
but I like that's just my type of thing. I like comic book movies. I'm one of them type kids that grew up drawing out of comic books and all that
Going,
type shit. So
Wayne.
if they got it there, that's where I'm going. That's the best. That's the best IMAX
If you're
that
gonna go
you
see
can
IMAX,
watch.
go see it at McWayne. So
And it's cheaper than any other IMAX at any movie theater.
Yeah, so they rarely have you. It's gonna have to be a big movie for it to be there. They don't have a lot of movies, but a lot of them be them nature movies and stuff like that for the kid. Cause
They usually
have some good movies though.
At least once a month they'll
Yeah.
bring in one.
And it's gonna be a good movie. So yeah, I would definitely advise you to check that out though. Definitely that. You're gonna love that experience. It's about that time. Yeah, we gotta get it up.
So
Get it out.
we'll holler at y'all on
But
the
like
next
we always say,
round.
man, we like you to like, share, subscribe, share, like, share, subscribe, share, like, share, comment, do all of that. Also, cut your notifications on and make sure you know when we could. Y'all got anything else? 100.